They looked at the unborn foal and they said no. Every smart, experienced horseman in the deal had first choice, and they rejected him before he was even born, choosing a different horse instead. The colt nobody wanted went on to break records that have stood for more than 50 years in a way that still does not fully make sense. This is how the horse they passed over became the one that no horse has ever matched. His name was Secretariat. This is the story of how the colt nobody wanted became a national hero, why he ran a race in 1973 that has never been equaled, and what they discovered inside him that finally explained the impossible. And it all began with the toss of a single coin. In Virginia, a farm called The Meadow was run by Penny Chenery, who wanted access to the finest stallion in America, Bold Ruler, owned by the Phipps family at Claiborne Farm in Kentucky. Instead of a straight stud fee, the two families agreed to split Bold Ruler's foals, and a coin toss would decide who picked first. In the autumn of 1969, Ogden Phipps won that toss. He chose a filly out of a mare named Something Royal. That filly, named the Bride, never won a single race. The unborn foal Chenery was left with, by sheer accident of a coin, would become Secretariat. The winner lost and the loser won, and neither of them knew it yet. On the 30th of March, 1970, Something Royal gave birth to a striking, powerfully built chestnut colt, the stable simply called Big Red. As a 2-year-old in 1972, he was so dominant that he became the only horse his age ever named Horse of the Year. His stud rights were syndicated for a record $6 million before he had run a single race that would define him. He was now the most valuable racehorse on the planet, and that was exactly the problem. Money is a promise, not a proof. Then came the Wood Memorial, an important Kentucky Derby warm-up, and Secretariat finished a shocking third, beaten even by his own stablemate. The press pounced, calling the Wonder Horse a fraud. What almost nobody knew was that he had run the race with a painful abscess in his mouth. Once it healed, the only question left was whether anyone had truly seen what he could do. They found out on the 5th of May, 1973 at Churchill Downs. Secretariat broke near the back of the field and then did something that should not be possible. As the race wore on, he ran each quarter mile faster than the last, accelerating exactly when fatigue should have slowed him. He won the Kentucky Derby in 1 minute, 59 2/5 seconds, a track record that still stands today. 2 weeks later, at the Preakness, he surged from last to first on the very first turn and cruised to victory. A faulty timer sparked decades of dispute until officials finally confirmed he had run the fastest Preakness in the race's history. That left the Belmont Stakes 1.5 miles, the longest and most punishing distance in racing, and the one place a speed-bred horse was supposed to finally break. No horse had swept the Triple Crown in 25 years. On the 9th of June, 1973, Secretariat and his rival Sham shot to the front together at a pace trainers were certain neither horse could survive. Secretariat did not fade. He pulled away by lengths, then by 10, then by 20, his stride never shortening until the track announcer's voice cracked as he searched for words, finally calling him a tremendous machine. He crossed the line 31 lengths ahead of the field in 2 minutes and 24 seconds flat, a world record for 1.5 miles on dirt that has never been beaten. The crowd did not cheer. They fell into stunned silence. Secretariat had won the Triple Crown and broken records that would outlive everyone watching, but one question lingered that no trophy could answer. How does a living animal accelerate through exhaustion and win by the length of a city block? The answer was hidden inside him, and it stayed hidden until the day he died. He retired to Claiborne Farm in Kentucky, and on the 4th of October, 1989, he died at 19, brought down by laminitis. The pathologist who examined him, Dr. Thomas Swerchek, opened his chest and stopped cold. Secretariat's heart was gigantic, estimated at around 22 pounds, roughly 2.5 times the size of a normal horse's heart, and perfectly formed, simply built on a larger scale than anything Swerchek had ever seen. A heart that size pumps far more oxygenated blood with every beat, which means fatigue arrives much later than normal. Suddenly, the accelerating fractions, the refusal to tire, the 31 lengths, all made sense. The engine inside him had simply been built bigger than biology's rules allowed. But the story is not quite as clean as the legend. Swerchek never placed the heart on a scale. The 22-pound figure was an experienced estimate, not a hard measurement, and some scientists note that a large heart alone guarantees nothing without talent, training, and luck behind it. Drug testing of the era found nothing suspicious. The most honest conclusion is that Secretariat was a rare convergence. A freakishly large heart, the right bloodline, the right people around him, and exactly the right moment in history. The colt that the smartest men in racing rejected, the leftover from a coin toss, turned out to be carrying the most extraordinary engine the sport had ever measured. The horse nobody chose became the horse no one has ever matched. So here is the question worth sitting with. Was Secretariat simply the product of one freakish heart that biology will never repeat? Or was he the result of everything lining up at exactly the right instant? And if that coin had landed the other way, would we even know his name? Tell me what you think in the comments below. And thanks for watching. If this story stayed with you, subscribe and stick around, because history is full of legends like Secretariat, and we are going to bring every single one of them back to life.